Hi, this is James at Mega Life 21, the hardest hitting internet talk radio station on the planet, and I am here at the Newsletter Censored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey. Yes, northeastern New Jersey, where we have a very well-guarded, well-hidden complex here. Newsletter Censored Research Center. I'm here with the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. Now, a little bit of human sexuality here. It's part of the 5 taboos of life. And I was trying to explain something to Reverend Bill, and we bucked heads a little bit. The difference between the male and female orgasm, the biological function, the purpose of them. Of course, the male ejaculation, right, fertilize the egg. Okay, that's the main purpose of the male orgasm, to emit the semen. With females, it's an orgasm, but there's nothing released. There's no fluid. There's no ejaculation. There's no biological function to the female orgasm. It doesn't make the egg any more fertile. It doesn't. Does anything physiologically take place inside the woman's body? So it does not have a biological function like the male orgasm.
It has a very important biological function.
What does it do?
It's called pleasure.
Pleasure? That's no biological function.
You see, it isn't.
Pleasure?
Pleasure is what.
But it has nothing to do with the reproductive system.
But neither does sex.
It doesn't?
Sex, reproduction is in the service of sexuality.
Okay.
Sexuality is not in the service of reproduction.
You're talking about conventional, old-fashioned sexuality versus, let's say, with a prized racehorse. What do you call artificial insemination? You're talking about, but the point is
well, why are you talking about reproduction when you're talking about sexuality? That's only a small portion of what sexuality does.
Well, the purpose
of
sexuality is
pleasure.
to deliver the spermatozoa to the egg.
No, that is not the purpose.
That's not the purpose.
No.
Now who says
that's the right-wing purpose?
Now who says pleasure is the function of sexuality biologically? Talking from a mammal standpoint.
Because pleasure precedes any type of reproduction in a human being. Pleasure is of the human being, not of 2 people. It can be of 2 people. Reproduction is of 2 people. Reproduction is not of 1 person.
Well, I think,
yet pleasure is.
I think pleasure is nature's way, or God's way, of giving people an incentive to sexual intercourse.
No, it's a way of releasing energy.
Releasing energy.
Stale energy that the body has accumulated.
All right, we're talking like the whole meridians of the body, the chi, reflexology.
No, we're not talking that crap. We're talking right.
That's crap, right?
Yes, it's crap.
Okay, what energy is built up besides the man's semen in the testicles? What energy? What other substance?
Life energy.
Life energy?
Yeah. Well, how do you think what's the difference between a cadaver and a living human being?
Spark of life.
Energy.
Right. So when a person has their orgasm, you're claiming that you are releasing pent-up energy.
Yes.
What is this energy? Is it electromagnetic? What is it exactly?
No, it's before electromagnetic energy. It's all the same form of energy. It's organs.
Organ energy.
Organ, as Reich called it.
He's talking
electricity,
about
electromagnetic, all these energies come out of it.
He's talking about Dr. Wilhelm Reich, the person who sort of bucked heads with Sigmund Freud back in the day, one of his mentors. Now, okay, so you're saying that the pleasure part of sexuality, that function is to release pent-up energy that is built up, sort of like a pressure cooker, releasing steam from the valve. So if this so-called argon energy, organ energy is not released, if the steam valve is not released, meaning the steam valve, meaning your urethra, your penis, whatever, your schlong, if it's not released,
then it is used for other purposes. Those purposes are neurotic, those purposes are violence, those purposes are things of that nature.
Okay, so this goes back to Reich's theory that all of the military dictators and emperors and all the evil, wicked leaders of past human history
are sexually dysfunctional.
Are sexually dysfunctional.
Yes.
Men that
and women
that redirected their pent-up energy and dysfunction towards maybe killing.
Well, they didn't redirect it. Their body redirected it because it wasn't
subconsciously.
It wasn't in healthy balance.
Subconsciously. So, in other words, their lust for power, their greed for power, and
was fueled by
this sexual dysfunction,
energy,
which stemmed from pent-up energy that was not released. Now, you would think somebody with that much power would be able to get at least concubines to entertain them. You know, no?
You're missing,
Esmeralda's shaking her head.
You're missing a very important point.
This is heavy duty, man.
It's not heavy duty.
It's not heavy duty.
You're missing a very important point. And just
a very important point? What'd you say?
You can't release this energy with just any sexual partner. This energy is part of a communication, a relationship.
So there's an emotional tie-in.
It's an emotional tie-in.
There's an emotional tie-in to this energy.
No, to the person that you can release this with. The person you're talking about, this dictator, certainly is not going to be able to become vulnerable, show the real self in the embrace with a concubine.
Okay. So only in the love relationship, love relationship, and trust. So in other words, it is not just organ energy in itself, but it is an emotional, it's combined with human emotions and frustration.
It's the same thing.
Like pent-up frustration when a human being is frustrated that they can't do what they really want to do.
An emotion is a movement within the cells of the body.
Okay.
It emotes outward, or in fear and anxiety, it contracts.
Okay.
Okay, it's two ways of the energy law.
Okay.
But the point, getting back to the regular point, is people make this mistake all the time. They think of terms of sex as involving two people. It doesn't. It involves one person. Your sex is your sex. If at a time in your life you wish to share it with somebody, then it becomes this relationship. But before any relationship, or before the child is grown to a state where it can use its sexuality for itself, it has to release its energy itself for its body to be in healthy balance.
Because only the individual.
That's why we have such things as nocturnal emissions, or some other ways of when the energy gets too pent up.
I mean, masturbation purpose.
Or masturbation, or things of that nature.
Because your sexuality, of course, is what you feel. Nobody else is going to feel it. All right, I understand now. So, okay, so the pleasure. I'm still having trouble equating the pleasure thing. Well, now I understand what the purpose of the pleasure part of sexuality is for. You know, the biological function for it.
Yeah, well, the fact of the matter is, a mother would not feed her babies an animal or a human being if she didn't gain pleasure from allowing the breast to be suckled. So the pleasure principle is what allows us, and there's also a hormone that is released, which allows the mother to be sacrificial, or the child becomes more important than the mother, or something like that.
Now, what about
if we didn't have these things, we would be like Neanderthals, beating each other up on the head or something.
Caveman.
Staying away and staying off by ourselves somewhere.
You come with me. You my new girlfriend. Boom. Drag him by the foot. Now, what about how much time do we have? Nothing? All right. Fuck it. Actually,